Okay, and hello everyone, and thanks for listening into another episode of Checking In on Your Daily Walk. In this show, I plan to chat to members of the church and see how they are doing. We'll be hearing personal testimonies of how God has affected our lives and get to know each other a little better. Today, I will be checking in on someone who is soon going to be a father again. It is Tim Patrick. How are you doing, Tim?
Very good, thank you. You all right?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. How have you been coping with the lockdown?
All right, actually. Yeah, me personally, not much has really changed. I've still got to go to work, so I'm on, week off. So a week working from home and a week in the office. So yeah, not kind of massive changes for me, really.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, has God been talking to you much during this time, or?
He's certainly been looking after us. No, there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that we can see through friends of family and through family as well. And there's a lot of situations that have risen that outside of COVID, you know, and he's certainly been there and been looking after us, which has been really quite amazing to watch. He's given us a lot of opportunities, even talking to people about, oh, what have you been up to at the weekend, and people actually asking questions of, or how does church work? How do you actually do church during lockdown and that sort of thing? So it's been a really interesting time, a really good opportunity as well.
So have you been enjoying having those conversations then?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I found out one of the guys that I manage goes to a New Frontiers church down near Horsham, and he actually goes to church with a couple of people that I've served at New Day with for absolute donkey's years.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it's really quite nice to have understood people that I work with a bit better as well. And yeah, there's people from even previous jobs that I've seen on Facebook that I've shared the live stream, and they've started watching and opened up conversations with them that I've not spoken to for years. So yes, it's been really good.
Oh, that's so cool. I keep wondering how I'm not great tech minded. I don't know if you know this, and I don't know how to share it. Like, I'm watching it, and I found the online services to be really good. Like, considering that we're not able to meet all together,
The share button.
there's like
There's a little button that says share. Yes.
there's a
Now,
little.
if you go onto when it first comes up on your Facebook feed before you've actually gone into the meeting, you'll have the like button, the comment button, but there's also a share button, so you can just send it out to the world.
So there's just a literal button.
Yes, and you can share it with your friends of friends, or public. Always worth going public with that sort of thing.
Fair enough. I mean, it is amazing, I think, how we've been able to move onto online so seamlessly, as it were, considering how little notice we had.
A lot of work has gone in the background. Stephen and Sean have been amazing. You know, it's something I was asked to get involved in from the beginning. I just, unfortunately, just didn't have the time. At work, I work in IT, so it had to be a focus of making sure 400 plus people could work remotely, and we could continue functioning and can continue running as a business. And Stephen and Sean, they've very much got pressure in their own lives as well. You know, they're working, but they've been done an absolute blinder. You know, it's amazing how well they've done. Even watching this Sunday of the introduction video, you know, something so daft, but actually it's really good.
I
It's
love
the
that.
introduction. It's the opening of a meeting of one of our church services online, and you see people. That's a huge difference. So yeah, well done to all of those guys. And there's lots of other people in the background as well that are working on the technology side of things and what the future of the church looks like technically as well. And hats off to all of them. You know, everyone's got involved, got chipped in, and I think church is going to look a little bit different in the next month or so, hopefully.
But different's not necessarily bad. I mean, sometimes you do just have to adapt and change as you go along, really.
Yeah, definitely. There's always going to be a church service. You know, there's always going to be a place to meet, and when things open up a bit more, we certainly want to have that, because it's the real family feel about it. You can walk into somewhere and give someone a hug. You know, I've not hugged my mum since the start of all this. You know, and I've got a very close relationship with her, and the same with Thea, my daughter. You know, 4-year-old wanting to cuddle her nan. And so down the line, we're definitely going to have the doors of the church open. But we want to reach further. Really, and we're kind of hoping that we can continue streaming. We can continue doing a live church service even when we're back in the church, so that we can reach out to more people.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there have been quite a few little outreaches that I know the ESOL, they've gone international,
They're doing really well, yeah.
which I just think is amazing. But yeah, I do think the online services, especially because even when we do come out of lockdown or come out of this situation, we probably won't be able to all meet together at once to begin with. And some people who are still isolating for various health reasons, they won't be able to attend the meeting. So to continue having that online presence to make sure we are inclusive of everyone would be really good.
Yeah, completely. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people still think that when lockdown is finished, that you just click a button and everything goes back to normal. And it's not going to be like that. We've already spoken at work about how the majority of the business, and we've only got about 70 or 80 people that go into the office out of about 400. And the majority will still continue to work at home for the rest of the year. And that's it doesn't sound like much, but that's a long time. And how we go into next year, church services, to whether they're 10, 20, 30 people, to whether we have multiple services, or if we have a bigger venue or use multiple different rooms. There's loads and loads of different options, but we're not going to be able to, unfortunately, open the doors up one day and just go back to how it was. So yeah, we need to adapt. We need to take on how we used to do things and look at how we can do things slightly differently, but better. The government guidance is still, if you can work from home, work from home.
Yeah.
We ideally have to have an on-site presence at my place because we're IT. We have engineers on site that they can't build things at home. The components that they're dealing with, they need to be on site, and we need to be on site to support them. But we're only doing it, I think there's, 3 people out of 8 that go in on rotation over a 2-week period. So yeah, it's a lot reduced, but yes, we have to follow guidelines. We have to follow what the government is still saying. They say it's 1 metre, but still try and do 2 metres. So we'll stick at the 2 metres. We've still got to protect people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it's right to follow the guidelines and everything that the government is saying. I mean, we're told to do that biblically, to follow the law of the land. And so it is about continuing to do that to the best of our ability.
Definitely.
So you were saying earlier, so like you could see like how God was supporting yourself, like, and all the people around you during this time. I mean, can you expand on that a little?
Yeah, I think from the outset, from a work perspective, everything was going on. You have to continually think about and protecting your family and looking after everyone. But my prayers kind of at the beginning were, can you make sure you look after everyone, and also look after us at work to keep business going, help us out. I've got to head and lead, making sure the business can work. Please God, make it work. And everything changed. Everyone worked from home, and everything did work. We've got to the point now where we're able to change things and develop things for it to be even better. Conversations. I have a management meeting every morning with the management team, and the number of times that we'll have conversations about how Sunday service has gone. They'll be asking questions on how we're doing it, and that's kind of where it led from, was people asking how we were doing church in lockdown. And then I'm getting ideas from them as well. But yeah, he's just kind of been continually there. There's not been any sort of specific time that he showed up and then not been there the rest. There's not been one particular sort of miraculous moment. It's just been a continual, my family are all well. They're all being looked after. We've had challenges and we've overcome them. So he's just been there constantly.
It's nice to have like that consistency. I mean, I think I'm in and out with God at this point. Like, so I'm with him and he's there, but depending on how I'm feeling in the day, sometimes I notice the presence more.
Yeah, you may be in and out, but he's not.
Yeah.
It's a real mindset, and it's something I struggled with for a long time. Particularly difficult moments, I'd forget he was there, and the good moments I'd remember. A lot of people, it's the other way around. It's in the difficult moments that they'll start shouting out against him and shouting, "Oh, why have you done this?" And in good moments you forget. But actually, no matter what mood you're in, no matter whether you're in and out with him, Charlie, he's still kind of there. You know, he's still stood beside you, giving you a prod and a nudge with the elbow to remind you that actually, no, you can be a grump if you like, but I'm still here going to nudge you.
It's funny how you say nudge, because he does do that.
Good. He's very talented in that respect. There's particular moments that you'll be reminded, you go, yeah, okay, fine, you win.
Yeah, it's the admitting that he wins.
Nobody said it was easy. No. I think everybody that I've spoken to before I became Christian, I think every single one of them said it's probably one of the hardest decisions you'll make, because it's not an easy life and it's not meant to be.
Yeah. But that's I think the misconception that I have with my non-Christian friends. It's like they're like, oh, it should be like, you have God, so it should be easy. And it's like, or like, you should have an easy life. And it's like, well, no, it doesn't mean like there's no troubles. It just means that he's there with you through them.
Yeah, exactly. That if anything becomes harder, you become a target for the devil. You know, one of the things I always notice leading up to New Day, the couple of weeks before I ever go to New Day are particularly rough, and they are every year, minus this year because it's not happening, unfortunately. But you are a target, and you're going to get beaten, battered, and everything in between. But it's having the faith that no matter what does happen, you're still going to be supported. You will come out the other end of it. Yeah.
No, it is.
Out, Charlie.
I've sorted myself out. It's sorting myself out with God, I think. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think mentally, I'm doing okay today. So I'm all like, I know at the beginning of this call, no one knew this, but I was a little bit chaotic, Tim.
Well, yeah, when you throw pens at your screen and completely forget anything what is going on, there's slight chaos, yeah.
Yeah, but today's actually a really good day for me. Some days I am just like, lights are on, no one's home kind of thing. Like, I'm a bit robotic in what I'm doing. I
think lockdown has been a challenge in so many different ways that people weren't expecting. There's physical challenge. There's me and my wife working in the same room for a week long. You know, it's probably better for Hannah that I go to work because she gets a break from me. But there's the physical challenges, and there's physical challenges of having a 4-year-old. And a lot of other people, a lady I work with, she's got 2 kids and she's a single mum, but she still needs to work. But there's the mental aspect, and I think that's one of the things that people really didn't realise of. Yeah, this is going to be a long time. This lockdown's going to happen for a long time. We've already been, 3 months plus. It's the toll that it's taking on people mentally. And it's not easy. It's really not easy. And that's why you need to make sure that you rely on your friends. That the number of times, I'm not part of a small group. I'll continue to be punished about that one. But the amount of messages and texts that I get from family, from church family, just say, oh, how you doing? No, and then I try and then do that with other people. And it's really important, because if you're stuck at home and you can't go out, and you're not allowed to go out if you're older or you're high risk, actually there's a really heavy mental toll. And we need to make sure that we continually think about that, and continually think of how we can reach out to people that are struggling, or even if they're not struggling, you know, open those channels to people. And we've spoken with our neighbours a lot. They've got chickens. We swap eggs with them. And we give them broccoli that we're growing in the garden, all that sort of thing. But it starts the conversations, and it makes them feel like they've got people supporting them as well. When it all started, I was doing the Tesco shop because I could still go out and drive while other people couldn't. So we've really got to look after each other, and use God with that as well. You know, and try and drop in those little bits of conversation, or when they say, "Oh, what did you do at the weekend?" "Oh, I still went to church." Oh, well, and it will prompt those conversations, and it will prompt those questions, and you'll be amazed how many seeds can be sown right now.
Yeah, no, I do. So I was very lucky last week. On Thursday, I was able to host the prayer So there's the private prayer. It's open Monday to Friday, 10 till 6. But yeah, I was very lucky and very fortunate and able to host that. And my work, you know, they let me take the day off for it. And they all asked me, all of the people in my team have all asked me, how was it on the Thursday and how am I feeling after that day? And has it made a difference to myself mentally? And I'm like, yeah, no, I am. I feel a lot clearer. And it was amazing. In the 4 hours that I was there, I just had some worship music on in the background and I was worshipping, and a couple of people came in and out. But it was so nice to strip back and just get back into that groove and to be in that place with God and being able to share that. And I didn't realize how much I sanitize my language or my experience and my relationship with God when I share it, because you just go, oh yeah, I went to church, kind of thing. And I never realized that actually I could go, no, actually I spent 4 hours talking with God and he said this to me and I said this to him and we had this conversation.
I think you're really on the mark there. We almost dilute it because we think it's what somebody else might not want to hear. When someone turns around to you and say, what did you do on Thursday? Instead of saying, oh, I did a church thing. It's actually, no, I did this. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing this. And this is the outcome that we get from it. And the feelings that you get behind it and your experiences and that sort of thing, it opens a whole different world. Don't be scared of, or don't be worried about what somebody else will think. We do that a lot. We're British. That's what we do. It's, oh no, I won't tell you about that because it might make you feel uncomfortable. Make them feel uncomfortable. Have you ever seen Andy Phillips try and dumb down what he says? Make them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Probably sounds a little bit harsh, but do it. Why not?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It is, and you do just think, oh, I don't want to go into too much detail or anything like this. I'll just what I could say, you know, could be a paragraph, but I'll quickly, concisely put it into one sentence of this was it.
Yeah, that's very much unlike you. Usually something should be a sentence, but you'll give 5 paragraphs.
Yeah, I do the reverse. And you know, when I talk about, because it's like it's just a British thing. You do just go, oh yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
What did you do? Next conversation.
Yeah, exactly. It's again, I'm always, and people get sick of me saying I do the same thing with my work. Is what's the opportunity? Well, what actually, instead of doing it the way I've always done something and the way that people would expect, how can I shock them? How can I do something different? How can it stand out? And do it.
Well,
there you go. There's your challenge, Charlie.
There's my challenge. And I will take that challenge, and anyone else who wants to take that challenge, please feel free. But no, thank you so much for chatting with me today, Tim, and we'll see who I'm checking in on next time.
Absolute pleasure. Have fun.